Hey guys. So for my lesson, I decided to use Screencast-O-Matic to display my documents and the lesson plan itself just because I didn't have a whole lot printed out, so I really wanted you guys to get the experience and see everything that I was doing without having to upload a bunch of documents and send them to you. So I'm on Screencast-O-Matic, and my lesson plan is right here. So my lesson plan is actually for the third grade. I picked third grade because it's the second grade class right now. And it's reading and then math. So I'm incorporating the third grade math, specifically fractions, with reading. There are my standards, sorry. Measurable outcomes. Okay, so when I am thinking of this lesson, I am purely focusing on integrating fractions with what they have already learned and introducing new vocabulary. So the entire lesson is on fraction vocabulary. So for the academic language, I have fraction, whole, part and unit, numerator, and denominator. Basic academic language for fractions. And yes, I will be using technology for the lesson because I want to use the document viewer that we have in class on the whiteboard, like it projects the image onto the whiteboard so that everyone can see what I am trying to demonstrate. So with the pre-assessment, I don't have a paper example for you guys to look at with this. I hope you know what I am saying when I say we're going to do a pizza problem or several pizza problems on the document viewer projected on the screen. So when I say pizza problem, I mean a whole circle and then cut into fractions and then identifying the parts. So at this point, the student should already be familiar with half and quarter, and I am trying to kind of push them into eighths or larger. And then also I want them to be comfortable using the vocabulary and also seeing fractions other than a visual aid. Like we're doing the pizza problems. It's visual. They can count the parts, but I want them to be comfortable seeing it written out numerically. So a half would be 1-2 or /2 or 1/2. Or a quarter is 1/4, the numerator and the denominator, which they are not familiar with yet. So that was the pre-assessment. So with that, what I want to do is I want to do the pizza problems and see kind of where the students are at as far as understanding the basis for visual fractions. And then we're going to introduce the new fraction terms. So we're going to introduce numerator, denominator after reviewing part and whole, and talk about the way that fractions look when they're written. So at this point, we would leave our seats. So the pre-assessment is done on the document viewer so they can all do it from their seats. So we're going to, I'm sorry, I skipped a part. So we're going to stay in our seats. We're going to do the pizzas together, and then to introduce the new terms, I'm going to continue using the document viewer, the whiteboard. I'm going to list the vocabulary down the side of the board, and then together we are going to come up with definitions written out. We're going to come up with a visual representation like a pie or a circle, or a square with the pieces. And then we're also going to come up with the numerical display of that number. So 3 parts to identify the definitions together as a group. And then at their seats, after we're done, I'm going to pass them out a vocab document, which I have here. I made one for vocabulary matching. So real simple, draw a line to match the word to the appropriate definition. So this is, again, just connecting and reinforcing the new concepts that we are learning, the new words that we are learning. So each child will get this. This is not for a grade. This is just to kind of help them figure out where they're at with the definition, and then they can give those to me, and I will be able to use that as another assessment tool, which would be very helpful. So from there, we're going to our carpet time, our circle time, and students will calmly walk to their spot on the carpet, and then I will read to them the book called Fraction Fun, which I guess I was a little preemptive here, which I also have here, and I provided the link. So this is a video of someone reading the book because I don't physically have the book. In the actual lesson, I would have the book. So Fraction Fun, it incorporates, there we go. Let me just scoot this forward a little bit. So it has comics and it has quick wit and it talks about sharing, and it also uses fractions in ways that maybe they wouldn't have thought about other than pizza. So we can talk about this is a granola bar, so that's another example of food, but food is really helpful for fractions. So the whole book is super fun, really bright colored, very entertaining, and it's not too long. So this is the book that I would use for the lesson at the carpet. And then when I'm done with the reading, we're going to do our formative assessment, which is our 4 corners. So with 4 corners, what we're going to do is I will have questions written out on index cards and relating to the book and relating to the fraction vocabulary that we just learned. And I'm going to have the popsicle sticks with their names on it, which we use frequently in class, to pick a stick, have a student's name. That student will come stand with me and will read a question and multiple choice answers to their classmates. The classmates will then calmly move their bodies to one of the 4 corners, A, B, C, or D, that connects with the correct answer, what they think the correct answer is. So then once everyone has picked their answer, I will have the student who is helping tell me their answer, and then they will be able to I will be able to tell everybody the correct answer and then verify why it's the correct answer and answer any questions we have. And then for the summative assessment, I'm going to do a metacognition chart. And I realize I'm running out of time on my video here. A metacognition chart, which I've also created and have here. So with the metacognition chart, I want to do it on landscape paper. 4 questions. What did we do in class today? What did I learn today? How can I use this in my life? And what questions do I have about it? And these assessments will help children to reflect. It'll help them to work on their sentence formation, their spelling, their writing, and it'll also provide me with great feedback on the lesson and where they're at so that I can plan for our future. And that's my entire lesson. So I will, that's my closure. My plans for English language learners. The visual aids on the whiteboard help with visual, with people who are hard of hearing, and it also help with low performing students. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you like my lesson.